Starbane's Avenue.
Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, who cut the cheese? Well, if it was done right, it was a cheesemonger. Carly Leisk, owner of Culture Beer and Cheese in Brighton, Michigan, is here to see if Paula can make some cheddar as a cheesemonger. Can Paula learn to slice the cheese, smell it, and sell it? We'll find out. Plus, nobody Kelly Houseman placed the winning bid in an auction to raise money for Chris Everett Charities. Her prize? Getting to be on our podcast. Our prize? Exploring the mind of a nobody. Kelly Houseman, Coke or Pepsi? Mac or PC? Would you rather have a dog with a cat's mind or a cat with a dog's mind? We'll dig into the brain of a nobody, which means finding out more about all of us. I'm Adam Felber, the man who every week valiantly tries to keep our conversational cheese from being moved. And now, please welcome the woman who grates every topic into shreds and sprinkles it across the Dorito of our consciousness, Paula Poundstone!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, Paula.
Thank you so much. So nice to be back here with you. Thank you, Adam, and thanks to tonight's house band. He's a nobody, a director, and a euphonium player. Dustin Moburg from Caledonia, Minnesota. And hi, especially, in fact, I'm not even talking to Dustin right now. Hi,
Yeah?
Dustin's daughter, Millie.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Millie.
Hi, Millie.
Oh, everybody's here. The whole gang's here. Paula, what's new in Poundstoneville?
I think I came up with a cure for the COVID-19.
The COVIDs? How? What?
I got a cure for the COVID. Okay, so the other day, I was grocery shopping, at the store that wouldn't hire me, but then later, while I was shopping, over the PA came an announcement saying if you'd like to work at Vaughn's, please apply.
I'm glad that you didn't mention Vaughn's name. Go ahead.
No, because that's not necessary. So I was at the Vaughn's that wouldn't hire me. And then, all right, so anyway, I got down to the Kleenex and the toilet paper section, which usually is, totally empty. But on this day, it wasn't totally empty. There was one box of Kleenex, and I got it, and it had a plastic, label over the top of the cardboard that said,
yes,
Kleenex kills 99.9% of cold and flu viruses. 99.9%. And then in smaller print, it said, in the tissue within 15 minutes. And then in smaller print, it said, if you boil the tissue. Now,
wait, what?
Couldn't we just inject Kleenex under the skin?
Yeah, and I think if we inject Kleenex under the skin and maybe strip down and take an ultraviolet light up our behinds like the president recommends, we should be able to clear out all the COVIDs. All those COVIDs should be killed.
No, it doesn't have to be ultraviolet. Have you ever noticed that pigeons don't seem to have COVID-19? That's because they nest in the traffic lights. So if instead of going when the light turns green, if you just shove it up your butt, then that could be one way of curing the COVID. Anyways, I was so excited. My guess is, they're not letting Fauci on television anymore. The government isn't. And so my guess is they're probably going to get rid of him entirely and bring me onto the coronavirus task force.
Sounds like you've got it pretty much covered there. I mean, I have to say, I've always wondered about those mouthwashes that claim to eliminate 99.9% of bacteria.
Yeah, but that's only if you keep it in your mouth. If you swallow it or spit it out, it doesn't work.
Right, but what I'm asking is, if that's true, why do they provide those little individual sanitary paper cups with them?
What little individual?
I mean, if it really kills that much bacteria, shouldn't I be able to just drink it out of an old shoe or something?
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. There's, apparently the answer, this is sort of like in The Wizard of Oz. The answer is all around us. We just have to reach out and grab it,
It was with us all along.
Right, precisely. I am so hoping that the solution is cat pee, because I am going to be...
Yeah.
My house will be packed with people, and we'll be able to hug each other and everything because, the protection, just my cats pee all over my house. And so there's not a square inch of my house that wouldn't kill the COVID.
That's good. I mean, between your Kleenexes and your cat pee, I think you are COVID free at this point.
Yeah. I just love that it says in big letters, kills 99.9% of cold and flu viruses. And then really you have to strain to see the small lettering where it says, in the tissue within 15 minutes. Well, I wasn't concerned about the virus in the tissue. The virus where it's problematic is in me. In the tissue,
but
I don't much care what happens to it.
Well, yeah, I guess I hear that.
Yeah. I mean, have I been using the tissue wrong? I just blow into it. It never occurred to me to somehow shove it into a part of my body.
I think that's more for people who are worried about those little bathroom trash cans becoming hotbeds of virus and disease.
No, it's for people that don't see very well. That's what it's for. They're counting on, when they have to, because the print is so small where it says in the tissue within 15 minutes.
Oh, I see.
That's why when I throw a tissue away, I just stand over the trash can and watch.
Because there's no danger.
No. At about 14 minutes, you can start to hear, and that's the virus dying.
I don't like viruses, but I always hate to hear them go like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they should suffer the way that they do in a Kleenex.
No, how come you can't just step on them? Oh, speaking of stepping on, it is big Logie fly season at the Poundstone house. Did I tell you that?
Oh, no, you didn't tell me. They're back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you can literally step on them sometimes. That's how
they really don't have a lot of survival mechanisms.
No, they're just slow and logy, and you would think one of my cats might enjoy chasing one down and getting rid of it for me, but they don't.
So do you spend your days with a fly swatter now?
No, it's not even necessary. What I do is I take a Kleenex that's about 14 minutes into the process out of the trash can, and I smush it.
Hit it with a virus. Yeah.
Yeah. If I find a spider, I take it outside, right? Most bugs, but these big logie flies or a mosquito, or I guess what was the thing that we had the big infestation of termites?
Your termites? Yeah.
Yeah. When I had the termite mounds, I took no prisoners. I just got rid of those.
Yeah. I think that's probably fair.
Yeah. Termite mounds, like you'd see in Africa.
Yeah. I right behind your refrigerator.
They were behind my refrigerator. Yeah. It was like I'd gone on safari.
I like that we're sort of turning the beginning of this episode into a clip show.
You know what? It was worth reminiscing.
Remember when Paula found, a number of our listeners claim to have been physically sickened by that description.
Oh, is that true?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear it in mailbag.
Well, Tony Anita Hull, next week, can we do some mailbag?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Really?
Now, speaking of Tony Anita Hull.
I was just telling it like it is. I'm not responsible for what took place. I did all I could to clear it up. But who was the guy that was upset because he said that I activated his gag reflex when I cut myself in half?
Oh, I don't remember who that was, but you did activate a gag reflex.
Maybe it was Richard. Yeah, yeah. Who, what's interesting to me is Richard just likes to lay blame. He doesn't look at himself and say, maybe I have a too active gag reflex. Maybe it's a little hair trigger.
It could be acid reflux.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be my fault.
No, it would sure be a hell of a coincidence, though, wouldn't it?
No. I don't think so.
At the moment that you're viscerally describing your bowels evacuating after cutting yourself in half, he also happens to have
Again.
eaten a bad taco.
Again, that is not the language that I used.
Tony,
I don't remember.
I'm gonna
exactly what she
tell you
said.
that it was similar to that, but it wasn't that. I didn't use the word evacuated.
I think you used releasing.
I think you may
Yes.
have used releasing.
I did use releasing.
Yeah, what's the problem, Richard? She was just talking about her severed bowels releasing in the lower half of her body. In a
His name
hefty
was
bag.
Ed. It's Ed.
Oh, it was
Ed.
Ed. Oh, yeah. Well, now that we've now that we've talked about him on air, he's actually gone on the witness protection program, and now his name is Richard.
Right. Well,
Because
we see you, Ed.
there were so many nobodies who so enjoyed talking about my bowels releasing that they're upset that Ed canceled the fun.
I gotta say, we have a lot of comments from Nobodies on those great iTunes reviews that people are leaving. And by the way, keep leaving those. And also on our Facebook page, it's extremely active. And and on Twitter. And I've never seen a single Nobody step up and say that they love that description, Paula,
What description?
of your bowels releasing.
Adam, ew, how could you say that?
Alrighty. On that note, Tony Anita Hull, how are you? What's new in Studio City or Sherman Oaks?
I'm good. I took the 3rd of July off, and I watched The Babysitter's Club.
You watched
The
what?
Babysitter's Club?
Yes, the new Babysitter's Club on Netflix. Highly recommended. It's a show.
Is that
for
a
all
series
ages.
or
It's a series.
movie?
It's a series based on a series of books I read as a little girl, and it's
Very
so
popular
good.
series of books.
Very popular series. The new series on Netflix was awesome. So good. I loved it.
Wow.
That's all I have to say.
Really?
It's updated for the
Boy.
times. They have a landline. It's so good.
So while the rest of the nation was enjoying finally getting their first non-$1,000 chance to see Hamilton, you were watching The Babysitter's Club.
Yes, I was. Don't knock until
All
you've
right.
tried it. Don't knock until you've tried it.
I think I'll never be able to knock it then. Hey, moving on then. As long as we're going around the horn.
I was very excited to share that with the world. So you know what? Fuck you people. Fuck you people.
Oh my God!
Wow.
From Tony Anita
can't
Hall.
How can you even... Tony Anita Hall, you have forgotten yourself. Tony, Adam Felber, you have pushed her to a place where she has gone off a rocker. I've never heard Tony Anita Hall speak such language before. She just a few minutes ago, she was speaking so lovingly of the Babysitter's Club, and now she has some foul gutter mouth language coming from my precious Tony Anita Hall.
Wow, but Tony, you have managed to scandalize your biggest fan, our resident
I'm
Southern
sorry.
Belle hand puppet, Mrs. Culpepper.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Culpepper.
Well, it's all right, Tony. I understand that sometimes I'm a little bit on edge because of the focus of today's first interview.
Why? Oh, you mean the fact that we're having a listener on the show later?
No, it's not the listener. I'm excited to hear the listener. It's the other interview, the interview that you mentioned first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what's her name? Carly Leisk. She's a cheesemonger. Why would that be upsetting to anybody?
She's a cheesemonger. I'm a little.
Well, why would that be upsetting?
That's a sensitive subject.
Are you
for me,
lactose
Mr.
intolerant,
Felber.
Mrs. Culpepper?
I'm not lactose intolerant. It's not that.
Oh. What is it then, if I may ask?
Well, I've had an incident in my background that is painful to remember, and the subject of cheese is difficult to speak of.
What on earth could that be? I mean, look, if you're not lactose intolerant, then why would cheese upset you unless you or somebody you loved happened to die of triotoxism or something?
That's exactly what happened, Adam Felber. Captain
dear.
Culpepper passed away from a bout with tyrotoxism, which was a poisoning by a cheese or other dairy product, and it was a cheese.
It was a cheese, a bad cheese. Huh.
If your Monger mentions the Gouda, I will leave the show.
Oh, why? Was it the Gouda that got him?
It was the Gouda that got him. That is correct, Adam Felber.
I got to say, Mrs. Culpepper, I would look at every setback as an opportunity, and today's Cheesemonger appearance might just be an opportunity for you to learn how to throw your next dinner party safely.
I don't serve cheese at a dinner party, Adam Felber. That would be like...
Oh, you don't?
No, that would be like Lizzie Borden sharpening her axe at an axe throwing party. No, I don't have dinner parties. Besides, now
Terrible
I'm
analogy.
Stuck. Well, all right, it was not a great analogy. You're right about that. Besides, I'm stuck now at Paula Poundstone's house during the stay-at-home order.
All right. You know what? Speaking of somebody just kind of out of nowhere yelling "fuck you all," let's move on to Bonnie Burns.
Why don't you guys all go fuck yourselves?
Oh, there we go. Because I do feel like Tony was just kind of channeling you a moment ago, Bonnie Burns. How are you? What's new?
No, I was kidding. It's really good to hear your guys' voices. Things are good. I've gotten a lot of response, Adam, to my interview with you, and it turned out two nobodies went to Camp Colloqua.
Camp Colloqua?
Yeah, and a number of people went on Facebook and posted that they also made bread, wrapped it around sticks, and roasted it over an open fire. No, I'm not kidding.
I know.
Yes, I know.
But, Bonnie, yeah, a lot of people did make bread over fires with dough wrapped around a stick. Many of them are elderly now because it took place during the encampments in the Great Depression.
Yeah, it was basically. I believe that kind of food is known as a Hoovertown delight. But for those of you who didn't actually listen to that episode, we were talking about summer camp experiences a couple of weeks ago, and apparently Bonnie Burns went to a place called Camp Colloqua, which is colloquial for something. And one of their main activities there was putting dough on a stick and roasting it over a fire.
Right, and
it was Camp Down and Out, and
yeah,
it was Camp Shantytown.
Yeah, they also learned how to cut fingerless gloves. Bindle sack tying 101. How to open a can of beans, and of course,
almost all
hopping.
the way. Not to open the can of beans all the way. That's important.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's of course that merit badge you get for stealing a pie off a windowsill when it's cooling.
No, and some people their camp had cleverer ways to make the dough. Like, I think one of them used like biscuit mix or something, biscuit mix.
They used biscuit mix
made up for them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so unusual, is one of my points. Okay.
Not in the 30s, it wasn't.
It wasn't the 30s. Okay. And here's another thing. Remember I told you, like, wohelo? Well, one person wrote in, here's the easy thing. Woe is work. He is health. And lo is love. Work, health, love.
Yes. In fact, just so everybody knows, at Bonnie's hobo camp, they used to say wohelo.
It wasn't a hobo camp.
at the end of a night. Just as they were all bedding down in the straw in their boxcars.
They called out wohelo to one another.
They would yell wohelo at one another. And a couple of our astute listeners were able to determine that wasn't so much a Native American word as it was sort of a girls' club contraction for, what was it, Bonnie? You just said it. It was
Work, health,
Work,
love.
health, love.
Work, health, and love.
Wohelo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wohelo.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's been modified this year to unpaid work, health, love.
Yes. It's internship, health, love.
One of the activities that the kids just loved, and I'm sure you got a lot of Facebook response on this, Bonnie, was the thing of finding cigarettes by the sidewalk that were had been smoked
Not completely
almost
smoked,
to the
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, oh my gosh, this was something that kids looked for. Like when they left camp, they cried because they weren't able to do this activity for a little while, which is when they would fold up the newspaper inside their shoe to cover the hole in the sole. The kids loved that. They loved that.
Yeah. And then that fun merit badge that you could earn for selling apples for a nickel apiece.
Oh, that was fantastic. They did love that. Yeah. 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 So I'm glad people were able to respond to that.
Yeah, no, they said that I brought back a lot of familiar memories for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I noticed that they said familiar memories, but not fond memories.
I think there was
Not treasured memories.
I think there was fond was in there a couple of times.
No, in all seriousness, your reminiscences of your summer camp did get a lot of response from our listeners. And one day soon, we'll read some of them during Mailbag.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait
cannot
for
wait.
mailbag. My favorite.
Me neither, Tony.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was the other day, and I'm not proud of this, but I was Zooming with Bonnie. So we were on a Zoom call, and she was in a chair, but she slowly slid down the chair during the conversation because she's not used to being upright. And so eventually you could just sort of see up her nose and the top of her head.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't been following it closely, as far as we can tell, Bonnie has spent about 95% of this 4-month stay-at-home order either in bed or on the couch downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's, at Hobo Camp, they used to call her non-ambulatory Bonnie.
Right.
Okay, once when
Now, I
was-
want you to grab these mashed potatoes and bring them to the horizontal girl over there.
Okay, once when I was like 15, I think I was like mad at my parents or something. I went to like a convenience place in my car and I ate like 3/4 of a bag of cookies. And I remember sitting there and going, oh my God, I just ate 3/4 of a bag of cookies. Who does that? And then like today I thought,
I do.
oh good, I don't feel so badly. But back then I didn't know you. And I was 15 or 16. So today I thought, I think I've washed my hair twice since March. And then, like,
Wow.
who does that? I really do. Like, I could give
Okay,
information
that is-
about that.
Yeah, that's a
No,
long...
I think we should have ended the segment where you talked about 5 minutes ago. I don't think we need to know about your childhood shame about eating cookies in a car and however that's related to you not washing
no,
your
it's
hair.
related because, like,
Save this for your own podcast.
you get it, right, Paula?
No.
It's like the same thing. Like, who goes since middle of March and only washes their hair twice? It's embarrassing. I'm being honest.
Here's what I recommend, and I really I want to say two things. One is that honesty may be overrated, and the other thing,
Gotta agree with you on that.
yeah, and the other thing,
Take
you
it
could
back.
you could be honest, but not offer up information that wasn't asked, I guess. But one thing you might want to do is take some Kleenex and just put it over your head.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That'll keep that hair fresh. I gotta say, Bonnie, I can top you
because it kills
because
99.9% of cold and flu viruses, and
That's true.
Right.
Wow.
So it's got to be good for your hair.
But I don't see
got to tell you,
anybody,
I can absolutely top you, Bonnie, because about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I washed my hair.
He doesn't have any hair.
No, I'll have you know, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I washed my hair with shampoo for the first time in 14 years.
Wow. What
and
hair?
I've done it since then again. Huh?
What hair?
Right. You don't have any hair.
Well, I do now. I started shaving or clipping my hair really close a long time ago. So for the first time in a long time, I've grown my hair out because why the hell not? As long as we're all staying at home.
So there is some, but you shave it. Oh, I thought your daughter had gotten you a membership to Cy Sperling's Hair Club for Men.
No, nothing that great.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was assuming that you actually didn't have hair anymore, but you've been cutting it close, clipping it. Shaving it.
Or
You've been doing. It's
actually,
like
for the last
Walter
decade,
White
I've been shaving my head. Yeah, I've been shaving my head in the shower for years.
Oh.
Huh. I didn't know that.
And now I have hair that's kind of shaggy. It's long.
Really? You need to post a picture. I want to see that.
It ain't pretty. But yeah.
Do you notice how none of us said that to you, Bonnie, when you said you've only washed your hair twice since March? No one went, you should post a picture.
You know what? There's a point at which it just goes back to looking normal. That's the part you guys don't know.
No, there's a point at which
that's
you
the part
think
I
it's
really
normal.
didn't want to hear. Oh. There's a part at which there's a time at which it starts to be so weighed down by grime that it looks straight again. Yes.
It doesn't look like that. It's fun. I don't see anybody. What difference does it make?
You know what? This is a perfect audio resume for you to be a camp counselor at Camp Hobo next summer.
I just got to say that if Ed decided to come back after the bowels thing and listen to our show again, I hope you've learned your lesson now.
Yeah, no, I think we've lost Ed entirely. Hey, by the way,
Paula, do you have a word for us?
I do, but before I tell you that, did you just say thank you, Tony? Before I tell you that, I want to mention that we do still have the 100th caller contest, so please keep those calls coming in. The 100th caller Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone can receive any appliance they want for free from Roger Federer's appliance store over on Miranda Street, and also a chance to hang out with Adam after the game. By the way, Adam, did you see somebody put up on Twitter a thing about Roger Federer? Apparently he's not going to play tennis this year. So I was right. I kept saying, he doesn't have an appliance store. And I said, he does. And you go, no, he makes so much money playing tennis. And I said, no, tennis doesn't go on forever. And so I was right.
So wait, just because you predicted that an athlete would someday no longer be a pro athlete, which has happened to every athlete ever, that makes you right about Federer's alleged store?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear what you were taking credit for here. That's fine. Yeah.
I wasn't sure that you would be able to graciously accept that you were wrong, but that was really good. This is gonna knock you over with a feather when I tell you that I have a word.
Wow.
Yeah. It's revivify.
Revivify.
Revivify. It's a verb that means give new life or strength to someone or something. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. I know that I am lucky to have Nobodies revivify my spirits after life slaps me in the face with the cold dead fish of reality all week.
Oh, that's good.
Revivify.
I have two comments before we go on, because I sense and dread that we're going on to your vocabulary song, which I, of course, love. But I'm surprised that you didn't know the word revivify. And B,
I'm full of surprises, Adam.
I'm unclear as to the difference between revivify and revive.
I think revivify is more fun to say.
Okay, point taken. Hit it.
Yeah. And Adam.
On a 1, 2, 3, 4.
there's poems and songs that... This week's word is revivify. It's a verb that means give new life or strength to someone or something. It happens when you eat a ring ding. Last week's word was parlous. It's an adjective from old use or humor. It means dangerously uncertain, precarious, like a maskless idiot with the virus. The week before that, we had incommodious. It's an adjective that means causing discomfort or inconvenience, like when the meter maid doesn't show any lenience. Going back before that, we had casuistry. It's a noun that means the use of clever but false reasoning. It's not wrong to eat meat if you use seasoning. And not long ago, we had augury. It's a noun that means a sign of what will happen in the future, an omen. After the Seder, the kids are going to find the afikomen. Let's never forget Gallimafree, which I pronounced wrong until nobody James Hyder corrected me. It's a noun that means confused jumbler medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think my song is replicable, but I do.
Wow. All right. Not for nothing, Paula. I think you might have mispronounced Gallimafree there again.
Oh, I did. You're right. Gallimafree. My mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Sorry, James Hyder. You know, I relapsed. That's what happened.
Happen.
You're absolutely right. It rolls off my tongue as Gallimafree, but you're right. It's Gallimafree. Whew, boy,
right.
Thanks for saving me on that one.
No problem, Paula Poundstone.
I was going to be in pronunciation jail.
Absolutely. And believe me, our listeners, many of whom come from the world of public radio, would not forgive that very, very easily.
Oh no. They would rather hear me talk about my bowels releasing after I was cut in half than hear me say
not
Gallimafree.
necessarily. Well,
except for Ed.
I feel like that might be stretching it. Well, yeah, except for Ed.
Except for Ed, who doesn't give a shit how words are pronounced.
We don't know that.
You can only die on one hill, Adam.
Technically, that is true.
Hello, Ellen Felbert. It is our French Trump announcing to you, Nobodies, that I will answer all the fake news questions correctly at another French Trump presidential press conference mini podcast that drops each week on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time. There's a 3-hour time difference, which I calculated with no computer and no scratch paper, because I am a very stable genius.
Well, we all look forward to that, French Trump. Anyway, everybody, coming up, Charles de Gaulle said, how can you govern a country which has 246 varieties of cheese? He had a point, but we have a genuine cheesemonger who will help us dig into at least some of those varieties of fromage when we return on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
BetterHelp, the world's largest counseling service, has asked me to talk to you about something that's really important, your mental health, and how to reach out and get help. You wouldn't hesitate to go to the doctor for professional care if you had a broken arm. Your mental health deserves the same attention. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own counselor from their network of licensed, accredited, and board-certified therapists. You can start communicating in under 24 hours. Now, it's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's counselor network, which the kind of expertise that may not be locally available in many areas. And you're not limited to that 9 to 5 of traditional therapy. You can log into your account anytime to send a message to your counselor, schedule weekly video and phone sessions, and get timely and thoughtful responses from your own personal counselor. Here's another thing. You don't have to sit in uncomfortable waiting rooms anymore, which is arguably the worst part of therapy. Instead, get therapy from the comfort of your own living room. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors should you ever need to.
I just want to say one thing, which is make sure you're in your living room.
That's true. Because if you're in somebody else's, you have another problem to talk to your counselor about. Yeah,
exactly. There's nothing worse than beginning to share your problems over the phone and realizing you're in someone else's living room. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp's mission is to provide everyone with easy, affordable, and private access to professional counseling anytime, anywhere, and we could all really use this now. Get started today. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone listeners get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Paula. That's BetterHelp, HELP.
.com/Paula.
BetterHelp.com/Paula. On this day in unremarkable history, Mary Travers of Peter, Paul, and Mary said, "No, I'm not rehearsing. I saw a bug. Ew."
Thank you, house band Dustin Moburg.
Thank you, Dustin. And I hope Millie is enjoying the show. She'd better be listening. God damn it.
Paula, performance venues are closed, and that makes things tough for, people in the arts, especially comedians.
Yeah, not so much painters, I think you'll find.
Yeah, they have an easy time.
Yeah. Or people who sew, or...
Yes.
Even singers, because they can do it from their house.
Well, to an extent.
It's a huge problem, Adam.
Yes.
Because that's how I make my living. So I'm looking for a new job. One of our Nobodies suggested this, by the way. Someone said, "Paula, you should become a cheesemonger."
A cheesemonger?
Yeah.
Now, why did somebody suggest that?
I have no idea.
Do you love cheese?
I do like cheese. I try to eat vegan, so I eat fake cheese now. Occasionally I cheat and have real cheese. I try not to bother cows, though. But look, maybe it's a way to make a living. Maybe this is someone who was really hoping I would get off stage anyways. Maybe this is
it could be that.
Maybe this is a new form of taunting. Like, instead of throwing tomatoes or yelling, "You suck," they go, "You should be a cheesemonger." I don't know.
That would be
maybe.
an excellent heckle. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's a high quality heckle. If you're out there listening, when they're when the comedy venues do open up and you're seeing a comedian and that comedian sucks, feel free to yell, "Have you considered cheesemongering?"
So that may have been the genesis of the suggestion. I'm really not certain.
Well, that's fine. Well, fortunately, we have a professional cheesemonger here who can tell you whether you have what it takes to become a big cheese in the world of fromage.
Oh, I hope she doesn't. I just hope she doesn't.
Oh, Mrs. Culpepper, you're just going to have to sit back and pretend it ain't happening. Yes, it's time for Career Corner, where we learn about the wide world of jobs. Would you like to be a fireman? How about a train engineer? Maybe you'd like to make a living as a spot welder. What can you do with your life? Career Corner has the answer. This week, let's explore a career as a cheesemonger. And here to help Paula discover if she could cut it in the stressful, high-stakes world of cheesemongering, it's the co-owner of Culture Beer and Cheese in Brighton, Michigan, Carly Leisk.
Hey. Hi, Paula. Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
We really do. Let's start with the basics, Carly. What's a cheesemonger?
Well, a cheesemonger is basically someone who, at the basic level, sells cheese. But even more specifically, someone who lovingly takes care of and thoughtfully sells cheese to other people.
So you're not just throwing slices of craft at people.
Exactly. So cheese is a living object, so it changes as it sits in the case. So we regularly have to, unwrap it, cut it apart, look at it, smell it, taste it, of course, make sure it's still good, and it changes a lot. So it's going to change the flavor as it goes on.
Wow.
And so we're also kind of storytellers. And so that's why I think, Paula, you could definitely be a cheesemonger.
In
You're
what
a
way are you
storyteller.
storytellers?
So this is one of my favorite parts about being a cheesemonger is because you're not just throwing a piece of cheese at somebody and saying, here, taste this. It's from a sheep.
No, that would be a
also
cheese
telling
thrower.
them- Exactly. But telling people more about where that cheese came from, the farm it came from, what breed of cow or goat or sheep it came from, how the cheese maker came upon this recipe. There's a lot of little details that we don't always think about when we just pick something up at the local market.
That's absolutely true.
I've never thought about it. Never even, it's this idea that it's a live thing never really occurred to me either. I mean, so isn't it like a mold or something to begin with?
Is cheese a mold?
Not to begin with. To begin with, you do need a culture or a starter or something that's going to help coagulate the milk and help separate the curds from the whey. And then later on, you can introduce molds if you're talking about anything from
like a blue cheese.
Like a blue cheese, especially, you think of that blue mold, which is called penicillin roqueforti. But even like a brie cheese, that white stuff on the outside is a mold.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was packaging.
It is. It's a natural packaging.
Do you eat
So
the
your
white stuff
fingers
on the
don't get
outside, or
sticky.
do you not eat the stuff on the white from the outside?
You are supposed to eat the stuff on the outside. It is a personal choice. So if you don't feel bad about it, but in our minds, the cheesemongers are judging you for not eating that rind on the outside.
Okay, you're judging us.
When I do eat cheese, I love brie, and I do eat the outside of the brie, even though I thought it was packaging. I just ate the packaging. I hate waste. But do you
Waste
know?
not, want not.
Exactly. Do you know who won't eat the packaging on the outside of the brie? The natural packaging is people who won't wear masks. I've seen them interviewed at a rodeo the other day, and they said we're Americans and we get to make choices about what we do. And so, boy, you cannot force them.
My cheese, my choice. My cheese, my choice. Get your government hands off my cheese.
Yeah. Remember when the government was offering cheese? It was when Reagan was in office. Didn't he offer, like, poor people cheese?
Government cheese, yeah.
Government cheese is a thing. I don't think it was specifically a Reagan thing. Do you want to talk about that, Carly?
I don't know too much about government cheese, I'm afraid. I kind of specialize in artisanal cheese, but I assume they gave it out because it was something that they could easily make and it was very nutritious.
Excellent.
Is it very nutritious, Carly?
It is. Cheese actually has a lot of vital vitamins and nutrients that you need. It also releases little neurotransmitters that go up to your brain, and they release dopamine, which makes you happy, and adrenaline and epinephrine.
Like chocolate.
Like chocolate. The protein in cheese called casein is related to the opioid family. So it's definitely going to make you happy.
I didn't know that. And so the opioid crisis was caused by sheep?
That's absolutely not.
This might be a way of solving it. I don't know if anyone's looked into it. Maybe high quantities of cheese would help.
So Carly, how did you become a cheesemonger? How does one go about doing this? And what's the educational process?
I sort of fell
You don't
into
have
it.
to answer that as a light opera, by the way, but you can. Because that's the kind of question that should lead to a Gilbert and Sullivan type, like, when I was a girl, just a little girl, but.
I would like that.
Yeah, I didn't prepare a full song, but I was a former entertainer, so I was a theater background. Theater wasn't quite doing it for me in New York City, and I wanted to do something in food. I knew food made me happy, and I could make other people happy. And a friend came to me and said, hey, I work at this restaurant. They have a job at their cheese counter, and you would be perfect because you actually like talking to people, and you seem to be interested in food, and this could be the perfect thing for you. And I kind of lied my way through the interview, and I got hired, and I studied very, very quickly. And studying about cheese is eating. So that was kind of amazing.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
when your friend said you seem to be interested in food, did you have your head like in a big can of something at that moment? I'm not sure that's a complimentary thing to say to somebody. You seem to be interested in food.
We were working at a restaurant together, so it was kind
okay.
of a natural jump. I wasn't just walking around with my horse trough slung around my neck.
All right. So when you said that you learned, did you Google cheese or something? Like when you first went to the interview, did you look stuff up before you went, or you just got there and sort of BS'd your way through?
No, I totally looked stuff up before I went. I was working at an Italian restaurant at the time that had a small cheese list, so I memorized everything that was on that list. And I went to the interview and I said, "Oh, well, I only know Italian cheese because that's what I'm working with."
That's great.
But
That's
I wasn't
line.
even
yeah, that was
I was
really
the main
good.
D at that restaurant. I wasn't even a waiter or in the kitchen, so I really BS'd. But that's where my theater degree came in handy. So.
Yeah.
Never say your
When
theater
you-
degree doesn't come in handy, people, because it does.
Remember when you went in kind of shimmying your elbows back and forth from your hips saying, "If I were a cheesemonger, because that's where your theater background really came in.
Had you
Do
done
I
that?
love cheese? Do I what? Do I love cheese?
I'm sorry,
that's
I'm a
great.
Jewish cheesemonger. I've done so many productions of Fiddler, yes.
Oh, is that
wow.
true? See, I knew that was the background.
Is this the Gouda that I carried? Is this the little Brie that played?
You had to say Gouda, didn't you, Adam Felber? You just
Oh,
had
okay.
to say Gouda.
We've opened up a can of worms here, and I will try to put them back in the can. We have a popular hand puppet character on this show named Mrs. Culpepper, whose husband.
You had Mrs. Culpepper on your show. I'm leaving. Nobody listens to Paula. You could have chosen any cheese, any fromage, but you had to say Gouda.
Well, I wanted to approach the problem forthright, and it leads to an important question, Mrs. Culpepper, that I would like to ask Carly. Carly, have you encountered tyrotoxism?
Toxic cheese?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
well, it is a.
I'm confused, Mrs. Culpepper. Could you explain yourself further?
I can, Carly. I'd be happy to do so only in the most academic of terms. Tyrotoxism, Carly, is a poisoning by a cheese or other dairy products, and it can be lethal. And it is my husband, my dearly departed Captain Culpepper, passed from such a poisoning.
Oh, well, that is something to be concerned about. There are listeria outbreaks that happen from time to time, but nothing that happens too frequently. Luckily, our FDA does a pretty good job of keeping that in check.
Well, this tyrotoxism, as far as I understand it, and I don't want to speak for Mrs. Culpepper, and I also realize that this must be the singularly most weird interview you've ever been part of, Carly, but
Yeah.
my understanding is that certain cheeses become toxic if you leave them out too long above room temperature.
Well, with most soft cheeses, you don't want to leave them above, at 70 degrees or above for longer than 4 hours, because that is when extra bacteria can start to grow and affect. And they'll certainly change the flavor, and maybe they'll hurt your little tummy if you eat them when they're like that.
What, your little tummy? He died, Carly. He died.
All right. Well, but Mrs. Culpepper, I want you to just kind of repair to your fainting couch for a moment, because we do have other things to get to with Carly.
So, Carly, how did you feel about the I Love Lucy episode when she brings the cheese home from Europe?
Carly, you are under no obligation to pretend to remember that. This is not a job interview.
Thank you very much. I'm glad for that. I think imported cheese is delicious. Good job, Lucy. I don't know, Paula.
You know
And
what?
how
Carly,
often are you asked to
It's
quote?
such a funny episode. I'm surprised. Isn't it shown at the beginning of every cheesemonger conference? Don't they show it on the big screen before people begin to share their cheesemonger stories?
That's not the one that comes up. The one that most often comes up to me as a cheesemonger are people trying to quote the Monty Python cheese sketch.
I knew it. It's a great sketch.
All the time.
Huh. Let me ask you this question because I feel it's called for right here, which is, do the cheesemongers ever scrimmage with the fishmongers?
No, those two smells would just clash so badly together that we stay very far apart.
They don't hang out. Is that the only mongers? Are there other
Fearmongers?
Oh, fearmongers!
But they're not in our same line.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask about that because fearmongers and warmongers seem to be a sort of a very different use of the word monger. I mean, you're obviously a little bit judgmental, but you're not trying to terrorize the populace into eating cheese.
Right.
Right. But what does monger mean?
So there's the definition of which I am, which is a dealer or a trader or a salesman of, like cheesemonger or fishmonger. And the other one is more like a spreader of ideas. So I guess in that way, I'm spreading my ideas of cheese onto you, and I'm pushing my cheese ideals at you.
Oh, man. I used to be a joke monger. What size batches does cheese come in? Like how do you guys get it at your restaurant? Does a big cheese truck pull up?
Yes, I get a big cheese truck, and I can get anything from full wheels. Most of the time, that's what you do. There are some cheeses
When you say a full wheel, what does that look like? How big is it?
That depends on the cheese. If you think of a manchego, you are familiar with the wheel of manchego or the cheese manchego?
No.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Adam. Spanish sheep's milk. Those come in wheels that are about 6 to 7 pounds, so about 8 inches in diameter. But then there's cheeses like Gruyere or Parmesan that come in 80-pound wheels.
Oh my gosh! So how do you get the 80-pound wheel in the refrigerated section there?
And does it have anything to do with the word wheel?
Yes, you would roll it. You would cut it before you put it in the fridge.
Well, what do you do with the rest of it?
By quarter wheels. You store it and then you sell it. Or you can buy it like I do in quarter wheels because I'm not strong enough to lift 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I'm one woman.
Oh, okay, are you the littlest cheesemonger?
No, I'm average size, but I can't lift 80 pounds. My goodness.
Okay, I hear you.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever worked a double shift and then been constipated for a week?
I am very fortunate. That has never been an issue that's affected me. So I don't understand what the rest of the world has to say about that.
Listen, I have a glaucoma, and my eye doctor actually told me not to eat cheese.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Listen, Carly, one bite of, what was that one you asked me if I knew about?
Manchego?
Yeah, one bite of manchego, I go blind. How about that?
I wouldn't want you to go blind, but
no.
I mean, it might be better than vegan cheese.
Now,
almost anything is better than vegan cheese. I
heartily agree with that.
I eat it out of sheer guilt, not because. All right, so what? Is there a way to know if cheese is good without eating it?
You could certainly use your other senses. So you could look at it and see if the color looks good, if there's any discoloration, obviously if there's any visible mold. I would say smelling, but obviously there are some cheeses that are supposed to smell bad while still tasting very good. So that's not always the most reliable. But if it smells like ammonia or cat pee, that might mean it's at the end of its life or possibly already gone. And then by like touch, if it's a softer cheese like a mozzarella that's supposed to be kind of springy and squishy, but it feels almost kind of slick or slimy, that means it's time to go.
Oh,
and what about the blue cheeses? Because they're made of mold. Do they grow bad molds too? And how do you tell the difference?
They do, and the mold is just a different color blue. I have to say, to the trained eye, I think we know what we're looking for. But I think even if you're at home and you find a piece of blue cheese that's been in the back of your fridge for a month and you open it up, even you, I think, would tell the difference between a kind of a fluffier, more papery looking mold. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I'm a huge cheese fan, so yes.
When I find a blue cheese, I try to cheer it up. All right, now, what's your favorite cheese, Carly?
So some of my favorites are triple creams. There's one from France called Délice de Bourgogne that's really, really soft, very rich. It's basically like salted butter that you can just eat with a spoon.
Now, is that a kind of brie?
It is. So they're in the brie family. They have the same kind of white mold on the outside like you would have on a brie, and same kind of rind. Mm-hmm. But a higher butter fat content. The term triple cream means that it has 70% or more butter fat added.
This sounds right up my alley, sadly.
What else?
There's a brie family?
Yeah, just like, you have breeds of dogs or cats. The cheeses all come in different family styles as well. So you have fresh cheeses like ricotta and mozzarella. We have soft cheeses like brie family or soft or goat cheeses, and then semi-firm, firm, aged, blue, washed rind. You have to stop me here. I'll just keep talking about cheese.
No. I love it. But that's true because when I want to use a Parmesan cheese, for example, I notice that my choices involve Parmesan cheese and Romano cheese and Pecorino, whatever that is. And what's all going on with that?
Wait a minute. Back up. You don't know what Pecorino is?
Well, I know it tastes a lot like Parmesan, if I remember correctly.
Pecorino is something that Joe Pesci said in Goodfellas.
Hey, get out of here, Pecorino!
That's exactly right.
What are you, some kind of Pecorino?
Am I funny? Pecorino? All right,
No,
Carly, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, Pecorino, like Pecorino Romano, is very similar to Parmesan. They're both firm, dry, salty aged cheeses from Italy. The main difference would be that Pecorino is made from the sheep's milk, or pecora. So pecorino would mean like a little sheep or like a little sheep farmer. So anytime you see that word, you know that it's going to be sheep's milk and not cow's milk.
Interesting. Now, we interrupted you, 1,000 times, but most recently, while you were telling us what some of your favorite cheeses, we didn't get past triple cream.
Past the triple cream. One of my other all-time favorites, I'm really sad, they don't import it into the U.S. anymore, but it's a little sheep's milk called Abbaye de Belloc, and it's made by Benedictine monks in the French Pyrenees, and they've been making this cheese since the 1500s, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's semi-firm in texture, kind of, you can slice right through it, but it melts on your tongue, and it has this flavor of like brown sugar toasted apricots. It's so amazing. And like 3, maybe 4 years ago, they were getting fed up with the U.S.'s restrictions, and they were just like, you know what? We're so tired of dealing with the FDA. Get out of here. No more cheese for you.
We pissed off a bunch of monks?
Honestly, you wouldn't think Benedictine monks would come down that hard on people, huh?
But there's another, a very, very famous similar cheese called Ossoliarati that does come to the States. 2 years ago, it took first prize at the World Cheese Awards. So it's out there.
Minute.
People know it's good.
There are World Cheese Awards?
Yes, there are so many cheese awards.
Oh,
it's hard
my
to keep up.
God. I would so love to host the World Cheese Awards.
You'd be a fantastic host. I'll sign you up
nothing would give me more pleasure. I mean, I couldn't eat it or I'll go blind right there on the spot. But
wow, I want you to host the World Cheese Awards too.
And there's an American one too that happens every summer. Usually happens every summer. I think it's been canceled, but called the American Cheese Awards. So
and when people receive it, do they cry and shit and say I couldn't do this alone?
If they're good farmers, they bring their animals up on stage with them because they should really be the ones receiving the award. But
oh
yeah,
my God,
generally.
that would be such a great speech.
Yes.
You know?
Well, in Monty Python's Life of Brian, we learned blessed are the cheesemakers. Now, we'll see if Paula can join those holy ranks when we return. The cat of the week is Archie from Livermore, California. Hey, Paula.
Yeah.
You know what we did recently? We became proud members of Thrive Market, right?
Yeah.
They're delivering organic and sustainable groceries right to our doors. Now, I've gotten really into this stuff. There's all this like organic pasta that I love, but personally, I couldn't do without the Noble-made buffalo wing sauce. I make my own buffalo sauce, but this stuff is really good too at several levels of heat. I can't imagine shopping for it any other way. Now, once you guys out there try Thrive Market, you'll love it as much as me and Paula do, and here is why, Paula.
Well, who wouldn't love getting products that you love, and your paid membership provides a free one for someone in need, like a low-income family, teacher, veteran, or first responder.
That's right. And you know what? Thrive Market tailors up to 70 different diets and values, like paleo and keto and plant-based. Who knew there were 70 diets? Thrive Market did, delivering high-quality, organic, and sustainable essentials from groceries, healthy snacks, meat, seafood, wine, non-toxic cleaning, maybe Begley's Best, and Bath and Body.
As a member, I'm saving 25 to 50% off traditional retail prices, and their carbon...
No way!
Yeah, honestly, plus, this is my favorite part. My favorite part is that it's carbon neutral shipping is free on orders over $49.
Well, I don't want to brag, but the savings I get on my favorite clean organic products are amazing, but I also feel good about helping to support communities in need. In addition to membership matching, Thrive Market has raised, brace yourself, hold on to your butts, people, over $750,000 through their COVID-19 relief fund.
Wow, that's fantastic. I have really enjoyed the hippie snacks. Honestly, I wasn't even sure what it was when I ordered it. And then I
They're
opened
not made
it up.
with real hippies.
Oh, well, no, you're wrong. I ate some of Abby Hoffman's fingers.
Oh, that's not really a thing.
You know, you wouldn't think that would be tasty, but it was.
Yeah. Okay.
I am a proud Thrive Market member, and you will be too. Try it risk-free. Go to thrivemarket.com/Paula. Join today, and you'll get up to $20 in shipping credit towards your first order. That's THRIVE market.com/Paula to start your risk-free membership and get up to $20 towards your first order. thrivemarket.com/Paula. Have I been clear that that's Thrive Market, THRIVE market.com/Paula? Do you think I've made that known?
I don't know where I'd go on the web to find this, but I'm going to guess it's something like thrivemarket.com/Paula.
Yeah, you know what I suggest is that you try Thrive Market, THRIVE market, market.com/Paula, PAULA.
I guess we'll never know. And we're back on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone with cheesemonger Carly Leisk. Carly, this has been so fun so far.
Yeah, it has been.
Now, Carly, do you make cheese?
I don't. And I sort of feel bad about that, but not really, because my general joke about that is that cheese making is mostly science and cleaning, and I don't really want to spend all my time doing either.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're off the hook then. Now, let me ask you this. So you've been a cheesemonger for 10 years. When did the cut the cheese jokes first get really old for you?
About 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
It is incredible how often people will go to that. And I was working at a really high-end counter in a nice Manhattan restaurant, and people just are crazy with the fart jokes.
Yeah.
Wow. It just shocks me that anyone would think that's funny. But then again, the Monty Python thing is a little shocking that people would still do that, knowing that you're in a profession where you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And when I first started and I wasn't familiar with that sketch, people would be like angry at me for not playing along with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And for you, playing along with them just means telling them that you don't have things, right?
Yes, precisely.
It's a good sketch.
I have to admit that I flared up a little bit when I realized that you hadn't ever seen that I Love Lucy episode, so I kind
Triggered
of
you.
understand those people.
I'm going to go Hulu that right now.
Oh,
Paula.
you've got to. It's so funny. Plus, it's I Love Lucy.
Now let's get to really cutting the cheese, because do you have any rules of thumb about, like, if we're having people over and we have cheese, how should we cut various cheeses, not knowing as much as you do? Oh, cheesemonger.
Well, first off, I would say ask the cheesemonger that you're buying it from, because you can certainly, go to your local supermarket and grab some stuff there. But if you're at a nicer market, or you have a small independent shop in your area, definitely go to them, because they're going to be, like I am, a wealth of knowledge. And they will literally, you can ask them, how should I cut this and present this? And they will tell you. But the most important thing, it doesn't matter what it looks like, is how it tastes. And cheese should always be served at room temperature.
Oh,
so
I didn't know
take your
that.
cheese out of the fridge 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even longer if you have a really cold house, before you serve it, because you want to be able to taste it.
I've had a bad experience with that. I remember one time I was at 7-Eleven and I was getting the nachos, and I was just about to put the cheese on top of it, of the chips. And I said to the guy, how should I do this? And he just stared at me.
That's going to lead to a question that I do want to ask about, which is, let's take a minute and talk about Melty Cheeses. Now, this is just a very personal question. It has nothing to do with Paula's upcoming career, but I've recently started making Julia Child's, one of her many, recipes for French onion soup, and I'm using all these different Melty cheeses and trying to find the best ones for that. Currently, I'm using a mixture of about half Fontina and half Gruyere. What do you recommend for Melty cheeses on something like French onion soup?
Well, Gruyere is the classic. So anything from that family, like you said, you also do Fontina, which is from the Italian Alps, Comté from the French Alps. Anything made at that kind of elevation is going to melt really well and have a really nice, sharp, nutty flavor. One of my favorites.
So it's about elevation. I'm sorry. Go ahead. And then I'll ask about elevation. Go ahead.
Or you can just hold it up high.
I brought up elevation because that's going to affect the flavor and how those cheeses are made, not necessarily their meltiness, but just the flavor-wise.
I see.
But one of my favorite domestic cheeses to melt is actually from your guys' area, from California. It's the Point Reyes Toma. And it's a really beautiful, buttery, semi-firm cow's milk cheese that's sort of if you crossed a baby Gouda with a Havarti, and it melts gorgeously.
And a corgi. Carly, is there cheese snobbery? Like if I was having, A, if I had friends, B, if I could have them over, would there be something that I could particularly impress my friends with if I was like, have you tried the cheese? What would it be?
Well, that definitely depends on your friend circle, because if you have a group of food snobs, I would say anything French and washed rind, or even some of the more domestic washed rinds that are bark wrapped, like Hardison out of Vermont or the Rush Creek Reserve out of Wisconsin. Those are kind of more buzzy, trendy cheeses that'll kind of, have the food world excited. But if it's just if I'm just trying to impress my grandparents, something as simple as a Limburger might do.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Limburger was made famous in the 20th century in cartoons as being maybe the stinkiest cheese in the world. Is that true?
I think it's true that it was made famous for that, but I don't think it's true that it's the stinkiest, at least not the ones that they send over here to the States. We have way funkier French cheeses than just Limburger.
All right, now I have an important question for you, and given what's gone before, I want you to answer this very carefully. Have you ever seen Abbott and Costello's Whodunit, with the scene where they're the short order cooks and there's a Limburger cheese sandwich ordered?
No, I haven't.
Oh, for Christ's sakes!
Hey, Paula, take it easy.
You're not even a
No, step
cheesemonger.
back. No, I'm going to break you two up.
I can't believe you don't know the I Love Lucy. You don't know the... Oh, my heavens.
He's going apoplectic on you, and I apologize. I apologize for my partner's behavior.
It's no wonder you didn't graduate from Cheesemonger University.
True.
Oh, man. Cheesemonger you. And they had the best football team. All right. And all right, here's an important question. If the chips were down, can you even imagine? If the chips were down and I had to fill in for you, what are the top 3 things you would tell me before I, got behind the cheese counter?
I would tell you to be careful with a knife, first of all. I don't know your skills.
Right.
Well, I cut myself in half a couple of weeks ago. Don't ask Ed about it. All right, so you tell me to be careful with the knife, and then what else would you tell me, Carly?
Be careful with the knife. Get people samples. You can tell people flowery words all day long, but they're not going to get the same experience as if they actually taste that cheese. So get a sample in their hand and in their mouth, and have fun and be engaging and tell a good story.
So, like, I give somebody a sample, and then I say, you see that spot over there on the floor? And they go, yeah. And I go, I dropped that cheese over there a few minutes ago. And then I tell them a little story about how I dropped the cheese.
That's one way to do it.
No, that's obviously not the way to do it.
That's an engaging little
Very
cheese story.
nice of you,
Thank
but
you. Thank you for sharing
unbelievable.
that cheese story.
Can't believe that. Well, she's the co-owner of Culture Beer and Cheese in Brighton, Michigan. Thank you so much, Carly Leisk, for helping Paula learn how to get cheesier.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, now, Paula, what have you learned about cheesemongering, and could you do that job?
All right, house band Dustin, Moburg, if I could have a little background music from your terrific Euphonium. Thank you. I think I could go from joke monger to cheesemonger, were it not for that little dairy product snag. I forgot to ask Carly how much it pays, but I'll bet I'd make a lot of money at it. I'd pull my Tesla with the 80-pound cheese wheels up to my specialty cheese chalet, roll the wheels in and check the cheese. I'd drain the blue cheese, check the colors and the sponginess on the others, cut away the extra curds, and open for business. Yes, ma'am, may I help you? You're interested in a soft cheese with a buttery taste? Here, try a taste of this. It was made by Monk. No, not Monks. Monk, Tony Shalhoub. The television detective with OCD. I have OCD. Here's a funny little story. I once cleaned a restaurant I worked in for 48 hours straight. I fell asleep while vacuuming. Yeah, really. Oh, you're late for work, huh? You'll come back. Sure, no problem. Sir, how can I help you? Oh, you want to try a little taste of this cheese here? It's a medium hard cheese. Here, I'll cut it in the shape of SpongeBob SquarePants for you. That reminds me of a funny little story. I used to make these comedy videos to get people through the time of COVID-19. They're still available on my website, which is paulapoundstone.com. Just click on the RX Videos tab. I did a character named Rhonda Puckett. She had a cooking show called Cooking with Rhonda. And when it was easy to get produce but hard to get oatmeal, she showed people how to make an apple with oatmeal in it on a stick. She drilled a hole through the apple to put the oatmeal in, and of course, well, it was me. I nearly took my hand off with the drill. Oh, your wife is calling. I didn't even hear your phone ring. Huh. Ma'am, may I help you? Before I give you a cheese sample, I'd like to tell you a funny little story.
Okay. Well,
it's really a perfect venue for me.
yeah, well,
Adam, answer the phone.
What?
Answer the phone.
Paula, we're at the end of a very satisfying interview. I'm pretty much done here.
No, the phone's ringing. Answer the phone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hello?
Hey, Adam. It's Mac. Mac LaPierre here. Mac and Cheese, my friends. I gotta tell you, Adam.
Oh, hi, Mac.
Oh, the cheesemonger. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
You liked her.
I love the whole cheesemonger. Just so. You're gonna have to stop me. It was beautiful.
Stop, Mac.
Beautiful.
Okay. No, I'll happily stop you. Mac, I'm kind of surprised because you don't strike me as an artisan cheese kind of guy. You strike me as the kind of guy who'd be happy to melt some Velveeta on some nachos.
No. You got me all wrong, Adam. Anything involving cheese. anything. You're hitting me where I live. All right, gotta go.
Okay, thank you, Mac. By the way, for those of you keeping score, Mac LaFontaine, Lafayette, he was our 80th caller.
Yeah.
Coming up, we have a real-life nobody on the phone, and we're going to find out what makes them tick. That's when we return on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
Hey guys, Randy and Jason here, and whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to.
Yeah, you don't want to catch like glimpses and little snitbits of like what
snitbits,
you know what I'm talking about?
Tidbits of what your kids are listening to or anyone else. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, but before you go dropping hundreds of bucks on a pair, you need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon. They're amazing. I've got my Raycon earbuds. They cancel out everything. Raycon earbuds start for about a half price of the other ones, premium wireless earbuds on the market. And they sound just as amazing as the top audio brands. The newest model, the everyday E25 earbuds are their best ones yet. Jay, I love these so much.
I'm using it nonstop, Brad.
6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth playing, more bass, more compact design, gives you a nice noise isolating fit.
I like that if you have one of them in, you can just use one of them.
They're stylish and discreet. I love these so much. Now's the time to get a pair of the latest and the greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order by raycon.com. /Starburns. That's by BUI Raycon.com, RAYCON.com /Starburns for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. I love these earbuds so much. I know you do too.
I'm all about them, man. They're my reach. You know what you feel when you reach for them, and that's the thing you reach for. And that's my hike. Those are my hike earbuds.
Those are my walking earbuds. By BUI RAYCON.com /Starburns for 15% off.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 8989 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 8989. Enjoy.
And we're back. Thank you again to Houseman and Nobody, Dustin Moburg.
Hey, Adam, we are lucky enough to have Kelly Houseman, who generously made the high bid to join us on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone to benefit the Chris Everett charities. Kelly, I'm going to guess there wasn't a huge bidding war, because nobodies are special. There aren't millions of them.
Right, there aren't, but we have fantastic exchanges with our Nobodies on our Facebook page and through email, and some have even been our house band, as is the case with Dustin Moburg. So we know you're talented. We never get to actually talk to you, though. So Kelly, we'd like to take advantage of having you on with us to get to study a nobody in the wild.
Fantastic,
Yes,
I love it.
We've prepared some questions, Kelly. Actually, before we even begin, what do you do for a living?
I am a mental health counselor.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I have my own practice here in the Detroit area.
This has got to be, how much does it involve Motown?
You know, I love the Motor City, Motown. We are maybe 10 minutes from Detroit, so a lot. It's pretty heavy here. My husband's a physician, so we've dealt with a lot of COVID. We've got hit pretty hard here.
Oh, no, I meant in your mental health practice, how much did you use Motown music?
Oh, you know, I have not yet, but I love the suggestion. It is not too late for that. I'm going to put that on a client.
I gotta tell you, Kelly, if I was that polite about every one of Paula's suggestions, I'd never get out of the house in the morning.
I can see that.
I just think when you work in the mental health field and you live even 10 minutes outside of Detroit, how can you go without using the song I Second That Emotion?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I love that.
Emotion. All right, Kelly, we're gonna ask you some penetrating
Or
questions.
try a little Ambien.
Sure. Either one, whatever works.
Try a little Ambien. Okay, good.
All right, so this is gonna help us get a feel for who our nobodies are.
Okay.
And Kelly, you are a nobody. You've been listening for a while, I take it.
Yes, I love you guys. It's really exciting to be on here, and I'm ready for your questions.
All right, here we go. Dachshund, golden doodle, or parakeet?
Golden
doodle. Oh, that surprises me. That really surprises me. Okay, Kelly, sandals with socks are or are not a reason for concern?
They are a big reason.
And that's from a mental health professional. Red flag, people.
Final answer.
No, that really surprises me.
Really?
Because
Oh boy.
maybe it's my age. I don't know. I just finally, like within the last, several years, I suppose, I have gotten to where sometimes there's a temperature that, sometimes it's a little bit brisk, but it's not cold. And socks and sandals are the perfect combination.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, Paula, they're not. I mean, it's like asking if you're going to go out wearing a jacket, should you sunblock up your torso? I mean, what's the point? It's just...
Well, the point is that it's not cold, but it's still a little bit brisk. And so you want to have the sandal, but that's my point.
Kelly, I'm with you. I'm with you, Kelly.
Kelly, my point is clear. This really surprises me. It's going to turn out that nobodies are like the polar opposite of me. All right, how about this one? No, I know we're simpatico on this one. Masks or global annihilation?
Oh gosh.
So this is really
for the sake of humanity. So for the sake of humanity, I have to go with the mask.
I can't believe you were like on the fence for even a second on that.
It took a second, but
I'm going to go with that too.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's one there's not even either or. Nuts?
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
You were stunned by the question, by the depth of the question.
But
oh my gosh,
as a mental health professional, how do you feel about the word itself?
It depends on what context. If we're talking like a nut medley, I'm down for it. Nuts, crazy. I don't know. I might lean out of those.
Yeah, no.
Depending on the context, though.
Yeah, sure. I absolutely meant it as a food source.
Oh.
There you go. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Kelly, tiki birds at Disney, enjoyable or should be released into the wild?
Oh gosh, my bleeding heart for animals says just release them into the wild.
Okay, you two, they're not real birds. They're animatronic birds with amusing accents in the tiki room, outside of which is sold a unique dull pineapple soft serve ice cream. This isn't even a question.
It's a question.
But they've never been outside of that room.
They're
they
robots.
deserve to see the Florida sun.
You're both insane.
Kelly, you are so sensitive that you would even have a robotic bird released.
I would.
I returned to the previous question. Nuts?
More dip. All right. That's what I'm going to say when I host the Cheesemonger Awards. Okay. Double stuff Oreos or standard stuff Oreos?
Oh, that's not even a question. Well, you have to go with the mega stuffed now. Those are even better. So if I have to pick double stuff, but normally, have you seen the mega stuffed ones? They're like triple or quadruple the amount.
It didn't seem
Those
like the
are
right
amazing.
ratio to me, so I've not really. But I have definitely done the double stuff and the chocolate covered. I never see those at all anymore because apparently they just killed too many people.
Those are so good.
Now,
wait, I want to.
Oh,
okay.
you got some questions,
I got
Adam?
just a
Go
couple
ahead.
of questions because although questions about Golden Doodles, Oreos, and Global Annihilation are pertinent, we have an actual nobody on the show. So I want to ask you the kind of things that get discussed on our Facebook page, which
I'm
is
getting a very clear picture
I know you are.
of this core sample nobody.
But if it's okay with you, Paul, I just want to ask her a couple of questions, which is, so Kelly, you've been listening. What are the favorite things that you have that you'd like to hear us do on the show?
Oh gosh.
I mean, whether it's Thomas
I can't
Coyne
imagine what that might be.
This is so much pressure.
I can't even imagine who you might enjoy on the show, Kelly.
Mrs. Culpepper, stop trying to put your thumb on the scale. You don't have thumbs.
Kelly, do you notice my ruby red dress? I'm wondering. It's especially beautiful today.
No, if it's the callers or the hand puppets or the movie reviews or the segments involving Captain Crinkle, is there anyone that stands out to you as like, I want to hear that?
I'm a pretty big entertainment buff, so movie reviews, pop culture, things like that are kind of
great. And what should we stop doing?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's just back up a minute.
Gosh.
What?
Did you think that my description? What was the Tom Cruise movie we did, Adam?
Tom Cruise movie.
Was it
Mission Impossible 5,
Okay.
I think?
Did you think that my description
Four,
of
maybe.
Tom Hanks's nipples as Reese's peanut butter cups, did you think that was accurate?
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that it painted a picture. I didn't even need to see the visual. I could just your voice took
That's a
me
very
there.
specific
So, yes.
question. But no, Kelly, what do you need us to stop doing?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's so much negativity in the world. Like, we can turn on the news or go on social media and get garbage right now. So you guys just keep doing what you're doing now. It's nice for an escape, to laugh at things. We need this. So don't change anything. Just keep going and making us laugh, because we need less seriousness right now.
You even think there's not too much like Bonnie Burns on the show? Okay.
No, keep going with it. Like I said, do your
Just
thing.
asking. It's a random question out of nowhere.
I want to double up on our Bonnie Burns.
I kind of do too.
Thank you, Paul.
I agree. I second that.
I want to have the same ratio of Bonnie Burns that I have of Oreo stuffing. That's how I feel about it.
We've kind of got double stuff already, but if you want to go to mega stuff, I'm in favor.
I might have to. You know what? I might have to at least check those out. That's a good idea, Kelly. Maybe for next week, I'll do a little taste test on the.
You have to.
Maybe when I go to the Cheesemonger, I'll stop by the cookie aisle and get some
Balance it out.
Mega stuff Oreos. Well, I cannot thank you enough for joining us and for contributing to the Chris Everett Charities.
Of course.
And this was really fun.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
So that's what the Nobodies are like.
Well, that's what one nobody is like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, but
I
the thing
think
is
you're
that we
right.
couldn't get her to say anything she disliked about the show, and I'm curious to know whether it was because she was being polite to us because we were on the show, or whether, unlike a lot of nobodies, she doesn't have any problems with any part of the show.
No, I think Kelly sounded like a really positive person, and seemed to see the value of that in life, especially at this time.
Yeah.
So I think, whereas many of our listeners do write into Facebook, and we'll find out on Mailbag, but
Mailbag!
Thank you. There are some people with some complaints.
Oh, that was my point. I thought that maybe inside the soul of every nobody, there was that one moment when they're on the highway on the way to work and they just hear that segment and go like, oh my God, are we really talking about the tri-poly blend again?
Yeah. Although, no, I don't think they ever think that. No, because a lot of people are really impressed with the tri-poly blend because it's remarkably soft, and it's what my T-shirts are made out of. They're made of a remarkably soft tri-poly blend.
It is remarkably soft, full stop.
And they have a self-portrait on the left breast and a memorable quote on the back.
And
by
that part
the
is
way,
true as well.
At this point, they're limited edition because this particular quote, which I can't even remember off the top of my head, the memorable quote, I'm going to change it soon.
Are you really?
I am. And what can I say? People collect them all.
Get them now while you can. We'll be back with more Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone after this. Fun fact, in the state of Utah, it's literally illegal to curse in front of a dead person, which led to multiple arrests at Salt Lake City Cemetery Repertory Theater's production of The Big Lebowski.
Adam.
Hey,
Adam,
yeah.
answer the phone.
Really?
Yeah, answer the phone.
Kind of winding down, I thought.
Answer the phone.
All right. Hello.
Hello?
You're on.
Hello?
Well, nobody listens to Paula Poundstone.
Hello, Adam? Am I the 100th caller?
No, I believe you're caller number 81 right now.
It's me, Winnie Rose Feynman, and
Oh,
I'm so
I knew
excited to talk to you.
Okay.
Adam, Brian Cranston is gonna shit. I am so mad at him for starring in a production of Love Letters. Before we could get the rights, this'll show him.
Well, yeah. Now, Winnie, for our listeners who don't know you, yes.
Yes.
You have roped me into somehow, and I'm getting legal letters about this. I got a summons the other day to doing a production of A.R. Gurney's Love Letters, and then at some theater on Long Island, and then it turned out
The
that
Herschel Bernardi Jr. Community Theater in
Right.
Huntington, Long Island.
Right, and then it turned out that whether or not I wanted to do this, Brian Cranston, during this stay-at-home order, the quarantine, has scooped us, as it were, by doing a production of that online.
The bastard.
Yeah, well,
He did. I thought I liked Brian Cranston, but I don't like him anymore, I'll tell you that.
okay, Winnie, that's fine.
Did you get the script I sent you for Zoom Breaking Bad?
Yes, I did, Winnie.
I sent it to Tony Anita Hull. What day did you get it?
I don't remember what day I got it. I just know that I got it along with a court order that I had to rehearse it with you, which was a little weird. I mean, people get stalkers. That happens every once in a while. But Winnie, you've actually engaged some legal help in this.
I'm not stalking you, Adam. I'm rehearsing with you. All right, let's rehearse. Do you have your script there?
Winnie, I just want to say I haven't read it yet, but I'm already super uncomfortable. But I will read it. This is a production of Breaking Bad.
No, you know what? You're gonna be very, very good in this. I have a strong feeling about this. All right.
Okay.
You begin. Do you see where it says Walt? You are Walt, and I am Skylar.
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Walt. I'm going to use your stage name. Just go ahead, Walt.
Thank you. Okay,
so you
here I
can
go.
be more in character.
No,
you know,
I get
whatever.
it, Winnie.
Okay, go ahead, Walt.
Okay. Here I go. I am so upset that I have cancer. I need a hobby to distract myself.
Well, it better not be manufacturing methamphetamine. Skylar begins working in the kitchen.
Of course, I'm not going to manufacture methamphetamine. Why would you say that?
We hear pots clanging as she rummages in a cabinet. Walt, I can't find my pot. Are you using it to manufacture methamphetamine?
Skylar, stop saying that. No, of course not. I would never do anything that would endanger this family. I love you, Skylar. I love everything about you. I always have. Sometimes I think about just kissing you all over. Every last part of you. Slowly. And I get weak in the knees.
This is really good, Adam.
I don't want to do this.
Keep going, Walt. Keep going.
I love you. When you go downtown on me, I have to hold on to the sheets or I'll fly to the moon. They played that Petula Clark song at the grocery store when I went to pick up celery and milk, and I had to go to the men's room.
You don't have to manufacture methamphetamine, Walt. There are other hobbies. Walt moves towards Skylar.
Okay.
Takes her in his arms,
presses his lips to hers.
Really?
His fingers lift her dress,
Oh, Jesus.
and his weenie bulges at his zipper.
What?
No, Adam, it's oh my God.
Okay, I see it. Oh my God, I love you.
You could always collect stamps. They just put out a series with highways on them. And the lights go out.
Oh my God.
Oh, Adam, Netflix is gonna hound us for a deal with this powerful work, but let's hold out.
Winnie, I don't even have a vocabulary to express how uncomfortable reading that scene with you made me.
Well, you were very good. I could really feel your weenie pushing on the zipper.
No!
No.
I don't want to hear that, Winnie. Oh, God, no.
I could really feel what I liked about your performance is how you restrained yourself. You didn't just, it wasn't over the top. I like that a lot. It was restrained. You could feel the emotion.
Really?
Without, it was beautiful.
Winnie,
I'm
this is
telling you,
this
Netflix
is one of the
is
single
gonna die
worst
for
thing
this.
that's ever happened to me. I can't believe that I had to read that scene with you. It was indecent. And to be frank with you, it felt like a fan fantasizing about some dialogue they wanted to have with someone they admired.
Yeah. No, that's not what it was.
Wait, no, that's
not
exactly what it was.
No, what I did was I took Breaking Bad and I made it Zoom Breaking Bad. I'm telling
I know what you
Brian
putatively did.
Cranston is gonna shit. Look, keep working on it, and I like how you kept it. How you kept it kind of tight. I like that. So
Yeah.
keep working on. Try to
Oh
make
my
it
God.
more and more real. I'm gonna have to go.
I'm gonna have to lawyer up.
It was really good talking with you, Adam. That was fantastic. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to lawyer up. Okay, well, wow. So that happened, Paula.
Yeah, boy, you were good.
What?
Yeah, you were really good. You really underplayed.
That didn't bug you at all?
In what way?
Well, like as my friend even. Just the fact that this random, somewhat crazed fan is making me perform overtly sexual scenes with her on the air.
Adam, when people are actors and actresses, don't let Lady Gaga and what was the guy she performed with?
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. They were just actors. There's an actor and an actress.
Yeah, but I'm not an
Jeez.
actor. I'm an
No, you were in that scene, man. You
legally
were-
compelled podcast host. No,
you were powerful. That was
really.
Yeah.
Well, I do
No,
appreciate.
That was really
that.
fantastic. If
Okay.
they do another Breaking Bad, you're in.
I don't want to be. Speaking of hotel subs, though, Paula, we want to hear from all our nobodies, so they can email us at nobodylistens@poundstone@gmail.com if you want to submit some
Adam,
to our
answer the
themes.
phone.
What?
Adam, answer
Oh,
the
God.
phone.
As long as it's not Winnie again, please tell me it's not Winnie again.
I don't know who it is. Answer the phone. How am I supposed to know? I'm not. Go ahead.
Hello?
Answer the phone.
Hello, Adam. This is
Yes?
Gladdy Pilgrim.
Oh,
Am I
Gladdy.
the 100th caller?
You're not. You're caller number 82, Gladdy, but you might not believe this, but
Swizzle
I.
sticks.
Oh, don't swear in front of me, Gladdy.
And I
For all
took
we know,
time away.
there's a Utah here.
I took time away from baking a cake for my future coworkers to make this call. Oh,
Future coworkers. Oh, you mean the Supreme Court? You're the caller who believes that you're baking a cake for the members of the Supreme Court, which you are soon to join.
yes, I am. And I'm giving the largest piece to Kavanaugh and the smallest piece to Chief Justice Roberts. Cake justice is not blind, Adam.
Okay.
We have got to get him out of there, Adam. His cheese is coming off his burger. I don't know why Julia Roberts ever married him.
I'm pretty sure that Julia Roberts never did marry Chief Justice John Roberts.
I think they did. He's Chief Justice Roberts, and she's Julia Roberts.
Yeah, but there's a distinct possibility that there's more than one set of Roberts out there.
You don't think he married Eric Roberts, do you? Oh,
No.
that explains everything. Oh my gosh, we have got to get him out of there. I told the president that I will replace Chief Justice Roberts at any time. May it please
not
the
sure you
Lord
can
for
do
me
that.
to please the court. I am ready to hear oral arguments, which I much prefer to the other kind.
You prefer oral arguments to what other kind?
You know.
No, Gladdy, I don't know.
Oh, I hate to say it. Anal.
Oh my God. No, for Christ's sakes, Gladdy, there's no such thing as anal arguments.
There is too. Which one of us has been studying to be the new Chief Justice? I have, Adam.
Okay.
Now, I would love to hang out with you after the game, but whereas, and I hope you heard that word whereas,
I have.
because it's one of my Supreme Court vocabulary words that I have seamlessly incorporated into my conversational speech.
Debatable.
Whereas I am not the 100th caller and have so much work to do, I will have to recess right now. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Wow. And with that, Gladdy Pilgrim has recessed. Paula, how are you feeling about Gladdy Pilgrim these days?
I think my guess is she's going to end up on the Supreme Court.
It's distinctly possible. In any case, as I was saying, if you want to submit something to our theme song contest or a vocabulary song, feel free. Again, that's nobodylistens-to-Paula-Poundstone@gmail.com.
And remember, my store is at paulapoundstone.com. You can get the Poundstone pussy pillows, which are 4x5. I've been 4.5 by 5. Apparently, I've been diminishing the size when I describe them here. They're 4.5 by 5 inches.
Oh, and that extra half inch is pure bliss for your kitty.
It is. And they have a grommet in case you want to tie a string around it and pull it for the cat, but it's a little pillow of catnip. And on one side, there is a cat joke, and the other side, I am happy to autograph it to your cat. And if you go to paulapoundstone.com to the store, you can, there's a online form, that you can fill out and put in the name of your cat for me to sign it. Also, my book, The Totally Unscientific Study of the Search for Human Happiness. And, most importantly, prescription laughter videos. My comedy videos that I've been making during the stay-at-home order are available at paulapoundstone.com.
And just as a plug and also an apology, a lot of you know that I have taken advantage of the marketing niche created by the fact that Paula Poundstone does not actually tie a string to the grommet on her offensively titled Poundstone Pussy Pillows. And I've taken advantage of that by offering my own, less offensive, Felber's Feline Fun Bags, where you send me a pussy pillow, I return it with a string attached to the grommet and an autograph. And that's a Felber Feline Fun Bag. The bad news is that our first customer, Nobody Brooke Giddings, sent me a video the other day, and apparently, after several weeks of fun time play with her cat, the Felber Feline Fun Bag string attached to the grommet broke. Brooke, I promise to refund the cost of your Felber Feline Fun Bag string. And it is quite disheartening to see the video of the cat suddenly realizing that it was no longer playing with its owner thanks to the breaking of the string. I will, in future, any of you who want a Felber Feline Fun Bag, I will use a higher grade of string or twine on that fun bag.
Yeah, this is exactly why I didn't provide the string. You can find me and Adam on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're all over the place. And check out our Facebook page at Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
That's our show. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam the Felber. Special thanks to our guests, Carly Leisk and Kelly Houseman. And thanks to our house band, Dustin Moburg. We really appreciate that. Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Tony Anita Hull. Mixing by Michael Hoagie. Thanks to former intern Doug. We didn't mention Doug Burns on the show tonight, but again, his murder was mysterious. I recently learned that Doug had a falling out with our new host, Starburns Productions, headed by Land Romo, who's in our credits tonight, too. Apparently, Land and Doug had a falling out. We'll get back to that at a future date. Technical direction by Jessica Gutierrez. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me?
Yeah, I was sorry to sandwich that in on the end, but I recently reserved.
It's stunned me. So
Well, we moved to Starburn's Audio, and apparently Doug and Land never hit it off.
Wow. So Land is what, a person of interest in the Doug Burns?
I've just received. I don't know if he's a person. I mean, I'm interested, but that's all I know.
Wow. Huh. Yeah. So they found him. He was photographed by Annie Leibovitz. Is that correct?
Doug was, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug was photographed by Annie Leibovitz. They found a copy of your novel, the corner of the novel fit into the dent in the side of Doug's head.
That could be it. He could have fallen onto the book after he'd been murdered.
Yeah. When was the last time you heard about somebody falling onto a book that left a dent in their head?
Well, you never know. It's a substantial work.
Although sometimes when I read late at night and then I fall asleep,
right.
That's why I don't like a hardcover book, because it'll just drop right down on my head. It hasn't ever actually killed me.
Yet.
Yeah, right? Oh, boy. Can you hear my dog barking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she was so close to Doug.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.